Hi, my name is Rabbi Sarah Tasman. I'm the founder of the Tasman Center for Jewish Creativity. I'm so excited to be talking with you today as we are approaching the season of preparing for the Jewish New Year. Rosh HaShanah is coming up in just about 6 or 7 weeks, and we are in this time where we are looking toward the Hebrew month of Elul. Elul is a container of time for meditation and reflection and going inward as we prepare to celebrate and welcome Rosh HaShanah, the Jewish New Year, in September. Elul is traditionally seen as the last month in the Jewish calendar, as a time for us to look back at the year that we've been through and to do some reflection, to do what's called cheshbon hanefesh, an accounting of the soul. Elul invites us to look back at the past year and think about where we achieved the goals that we had set forth last year at the Jewish New Year, or other goals that we had set for ourselves during the year, or other intentions, to check in and see where we met our goals, what we accomplished, where we had major strides and things that help us feel so proud of what we have been through in this past year. We also have to take a look at the places where we might have missed the mark, where maybe we fell short of our goals or didn't quite meet them, where we might have things in our life or relationships or other aspects of what we're doing professionally or personally that still need a little bit of work and attention. Maybe we need to modify some of those goals to think about being more successful in achieving them in this coming year. This year, as we approach the Jewish New Year, we are also approaching what is called a Shmitta year in the Jewish calendar. Shmitta is the 7-year cycle of the ancient agricultural system from the land of Israel. And in Israel today, they still observe the Shmitta year with different rules about farming and production and produce and things like that. Traditionally, the Shmitta year was a year of letting the earth lie fallow, letting the earth replenish itself, having a time where it did not have to produce and make new growth or new produce, but that the earth would really have a time to rejuvenate. Outside of the land of Israel, we have an opportunity to think about the Shmitta year and the Shmitta cycle more symbolically or metaphorically. For one, it's an opportunity in our own lives to think about how we might want to pull back a little bit this year, how we might want to give some space in certain aspects of our life to replenish or rejuvenate or rest this year. So it might be an opportunity to think about an aspect of your life where you don't want to strive so hard or push yourself so hard to produce or create. It might be an aspect of your life where you decide, okay, I'm not going to spend money this year on something specific, or I'm not going to buy new clothes or new books or something like that. I'm going to only get things from the library or from a gift economy in my neighborhood, or borrow things or exchange things with my neighbors or things like that. You do work in an agricultural system. It's an opportunity this year to think about how to recreate a whole system for yourself in a way that's different for this 7th year, so that you can really give your earth and your farmland and your crops and your system a chance to replenish and recuperate, so that they're ready to grow and be the best that they can produce the following year. Personally, we have this opportunity to think about, how might I rest a little bit? How might I rejuvenate or replenish a little bit? And that is a really challenging question for a lot of people. And I want you to take some time right now, or sometime during this month of Elul, or sometime during your preparation for the Jewish New Year, to really sit with that question. And it's a hard question for me as well. but to think about what are the practices that you have in your life right now that can help you feel that sense of replenishment and rejuvenation, or what are the practices that you might want to bring into your life. Maybe there's a new practice that you want to bring in that would help you achieve that sense of stepping back, of pulling back, resting, of letting something in your life lie fallow in order to replenish and rejuvenate this year. Because also an opportunity to think back on the past 7 years. And that's a big question, a big thing to think about, not only as we're doing our cheshbon hanefesh, our reflection on this past year, but to also do some cheshbon hanefesh on the past 7 years. So first, maybe thinking about where you were you living 7 years ago? Maybe looking back on your phone at any photos you took from that year, or if you have a Google Calendar or a Google phone or Google Photos, to see where you were, where you went, what you were doing in your life, to just be reminded a little bit, because it's so hard to think back 7 years ago. Where was I? What was I doing? I want you to also think about any goals that you had set for yourself 7 years ago. What were your personal or professional aspirations? And to think back over the last 7 years about what you've accomplished, how you've grown, what you're proud of from the past 7 years. How have you changed? And maybe how have you stayed the same? Shmitta is also an opportunity to do some visioning for not only this coming year, but also for the next 7 years. So it's an opportunity to think forward 7 years and think, where do I want to be in my life? What do I want to be feeling? How do I want to live my most truest, authentic self? Where do I want to be personally, professionally? What might my family look like? What might my living situation look like? And to really do some visioning and thinking about how might you get yourself there over the next 7 years. So Shmitta is a huge opportunity. It's a big opportunity for not only taking this time for reflection and goal setting, but it's also a big opportunity to pull back and to see about how you might replenish yourself this coming year. The Tasman Center for Jewish Creativity is so excited to be partnering with Hazon, the Jewish Sustainability Lab, on a Shmitta project for this year. So if you are interested in being part of a small cohort who is thinking about these questions and checking in with each other over the course of this year, doing some creative reflection exercises, stay tuned for more information about how you can be part of a small cohort for your Shmitta reflection this year. And we are super excited to be presenting a Shmitta journal workbook with questions for reflection and creative activities for preparing for Rosh HaShanah and preparing for entering the Shmitta year, and how to be reflecting on and experience the Shmitta year in a really creative, spiritual way, and a really mindful and sustainable way this year. And being able to think about not only the past 7 years, but the next 7 years. We're so excited to be jumping into this new Shmitta year with all of you, and would love to hear from you. So be in touch if this resonates with you, if any of these questions resonate with you, or taking the time to do this kind of reflection over the coming year. And we can't wait to hear from you and work with you.